Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. So I've had this FlexiHand about a couple of months now, and I wanted to do a kind of 2-month on review kind of video. Now I've used it properly. So these are the kind of tips that I would usually use, and I would usually just, although this one's too small for the thumb, I usually just slot them into the fingers like this and then work on top of those. But when you buy a FlexiHand or a Flexi Finger, it will come with tips similar to this. I think it comes with 5 or 10. It might come with 2 of each size or 1 of each size, I can't remember, but these are going to act as our nail bed. So what you're going to need to do is just slot them into the finger as far as they will go. Just like this. Now this makes me cringe every time I do this. Oh, it's a bit like watching someone, you know, like Chinese torture or something. So now we've got our nail, and the middle one I've popped in and I filed it around to make it look a bit more like a proper fingernail. Actually, it looks now a bit like a nail biter's finger. So just file it to the shape that you want, and then what you do is you take your tip and you will glue your tip onto this tip that is actually now your fingernail. Or you can see I've put sellotape around this middle finger. If you are used to sculpting like I am, the sculpting forms don't like to stick to silicone, so I've put sellotape around the finger because the sculpting forms will now stick to that sellotape and be more secure on the hand or finger, sorry. So I'm just going to bung, very technical word, bung a sculpting form onto the nail, and I'm going to quickly sculpt out a I was in a rush doing this video, and also I've got to tell you, because it's going to look like I'm having a bit of difficulty with this, but when I'm at my nail desk I don't have a proper chair. When I'm doing nails I am sat on a little tiny, it's like a kick step stool that you'd have in the kitchen that you would stand on to help you reach something that's high up that you can't get to. It's just a one single little step, and it's no taller than a foot off the ground, so you can imagine how low I am at my desk. So bear that in mind when you see me filing, because it looks like I'm doing it really awkwardly, but if I was sat up in a proper chair it would be a lot easier for me. So all I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to quickly sculpt out a nail, and I'm going to make it thicker than I should, because I really want to go at, you know, really want to file at it so that we can see how much the finger wiggles or whatever, because I don't think I've actually done this with the FlexiHand. I usually just go straight over the tip, but Sharon at Flexi Finger told me that actually a lot of students use these hands. So for people that are learning or who are newly qualified, and a hand like this would be ideal. And also this isn't a comparison video against any other kind of silicone hand, because I have never used one of them. For the price, this one is a lot more affordable, and in my opinion it's more practical. Also you get a thumb. Some of the others you don't get a thumb, which is really bizarre. Well, it's not really, because I don't think a lot of people like working on thumbs because they're thick, but I like to have every single fingernail and thumb. I don't know why, I just do. So anyway, I'm just making this nail thick so that we can go in and see what happens when we file away at the acrylic. It's not the best nail in the world. This is just to demonstrate the filing. So I'm going to take the, what's this called, the sculpting form, I'm going to take that off. So this is where we're at. We've got our little C curve going on. So I'm now just going to go ahead and see, I look like I'm in a really awkward position, and I am. It's just because I'm sitting on such a low little stool. I'm going to show you later, a little bit later on in the video, I'm just going to show you, it's got really good movement. I was going to show you it here. So I mean, you can move the fingers up and down and round, and it's not heavy either. So I'm just showing you now. My file was broken. It's not the best file to demonstrate with. You see how much of a rush I was in. I'm so not prepared. But you can see now I'm really going at the nail and doing around the cuticle and the side walls, etc, etc. And you can see it's come out ever so slightly so far. But there wasn't any time when the nail actually came out fully, or I don't even think it came out more than, it did come out a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but it wasn't enough to affect the filing, if that makes sense. I did make it a little bit too thick. I think I also dropped my camera. Oh dear. So you can see there, I'm just pushing it. I'm just pushing it back sort of maybe 2 millimeters, because that's as far as it came out, if that. I can't see very well from here. I'm just snipping off the sellotape now that we have sculpted the nail. I'm gonna get rid of the dust with my finger. And I'm just gonna quickly buff over the surface of the nail. So you see where it is now? That is as literally as far as it came out each time. It didn't come out any further than that. I'm just gonna get my, just gonna brush off any dust. So I'm just gonna top coat now, just to finish the nail off really quickly. I nearly knocked my camera over again. So I'm gonna pop the finger off and stick that in the lamp to cure. So you can take the fingers off and on. I just love this hand. I think you probably gathered by now that I really like it. So that is our sculpted nail. Like, I've even put little rings on. I've actually got another ring that I've popped on my finger, my FlexiHand. It came today, so it's got 2 rings now. So that's what you can do to stop the fingernails from wiggling out of the fingers if you use it properly, like I wasn't. That's just my lazy way of doing it. I just like to get those really long stiletto tips to pop in. Yeah. And then this is the back that I wanted to show you. So it's got, it moves around on this little ball joint, and you've got this little swivelly thing. So this tightens up the ball joint, and then that obviously stops the fingers from moving, as you can see here, sort of. And then if you do up this one here behind the fingers, that stops hands from moving up and down at this. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, it is well worth the money. It's very reasonably priced. It still looks like a pretty good realistic hand to me for the price. I would recommend it thoroughly. Let me know down in the comments if you've got one. Mine I got from Nailcessities, www.nailcessities.co.uk. I will leave the link in the description box below. Oh, I was just going to undo this. I was holding the camera in my hand at the same time, so I only had one hand. So you can see that moves the fingers here, so they go like left to right, up and down from left to right, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to do it up and then show you the ball joint, what the ball joint does at the back. This bit here unlocks it, or tightens and loosens it. So it literally, you can move it pretty much any way you want. It is brilliant. And then you've obviously got that massive suction cup that you can stick it to your table, or if you work on top of a towel like I do, you could use a tile to stick it on. I just have mine loose because I don't have a tile, and usually I have a towel over my desk, but I haven't got one at the moment. So anyway, yes, I hope you liked this video, hope you found it useful, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.